معانا من البانل اللي هيبقى متواجد معانا عشان يبقى معانا على الستيج هو دكتور شريف الجبلي، السيناتور دكتور شريف الجبلي، النائب شريف الجبلي هيبقى المفروض هو المودريتور، بس يعني هنشوف هو ممكن متهيألي في الطريق. رامي زهدي، شركة EGGECC، شركة المصاعد، دكتور رامي زهدي. ومعانا مهندس نبيل يوسف. He is the founder of Siraj Lighting and one of the best people. لو حد عايز يشتغل مع حد يعمل له motivation يشتغل مع، يبقى في التيم مع المهندس نبيل. يعني ما ينفعش يبقى حد بيشتغل معاه مش motivated. يعني إذا أنا من بره بقول كده وشايفاه I can see this well. معانا من بره Honorable Anthony Suma from Ghana, is from the Parliament of Ghana, and Engineer Enoch Molenga, who is going to talk to us about the opportunities of exporting solar energy to Ghana, so to Zambia. So we are going to start and work to see who will, so that we can start having our panel now. Okay, and those who are through Zoom can start being there. Thank you. Dr. Sharif Gabali whistle, he arrived. Now, what we are going to do, we are going until we start the negotiations with the panel. We are going to have the presentation from Zambia talking about the opportunities of exporting the energy, the solar energy to Zambia. So please, if we can start this until we have our Senator Dr. Sharif Gabali with us. He just arrived, and we have only like 1 minute. If each one can just introduce himself, okay? So from those who are joining us Zoom, Engineer Enoch and Engineer Vino, if you can just say a little thing about yourself until we have our moderator here with us, okay? So we start with Engineer Enoch.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're getting me from. I am Dr. Engineer Enoch Murenga. I call myself a ZAMSWID. I'm a post-doctoral researcher at Radio University of Technology, specializing in renewable energy and grid integration studies. I am also an attaché to Zambia. I founded a company that tries to bridge the gap between the education and industry in renewable energy and also power quality. So that's me in summary.
Thank you. Vino, please. Engineer Vino Gopal Rao, yes. Yes.
Thank you, Neville. Good evening, everyone on the panel and all the participants. I am Venugopal Rao from Kampala, Uganda. I am the CEO and chairman of Dot Services Limited. We are a homegrown company in Uganda, specialized in highway construction, hydropower, and various other construction-related activities. We have been working also with Egyptian companies for a long time and in joint ventures. So we're quite a good experience with Egyptian companies. I would certainly add value when you talk about the infrastructure building in Africa. We have presence in Tanzania, Zambia, Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan. So this has been our footprint in Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we are going to have, please, engineer, we have here Nabil. Please, if you can just give us a brief about your company and what you do.
English or Arabic?
English, I think, so that
okay.
We have.
So simply, I represent a part of the construction supplies, which is lighting. The company had been founded 25 years ago, originally as a trading company, importers and lighting engineers. Over the past 3 years, during the COVID time, we built up our own manufacturing facility. It's in one of the most modernized industrial zones in Egypt, which is the Sokhna industrial zone next to the Suez Canal. Well, we are just starting this industry with the long know-how of this lighting element, which is an essential element. We had the pleasure over the past many years to illuminate many of the iconic projects in Egypt and even in some African countries. One of our latest projects, maybe many have seen it, it's Tahrir Square, the lighting, and we were a part of this golden parade that happened last year. Soon, most of the world will see the new capital with the lighting that we have performed there and the lighting solution that we have made. And in a few months' time, maybe we'll see more projects like the Grand Egyptian Museum, like many others. Lighting is not a supply material only, it's a solution and beautification and part of the architectural, and it's an enhancement of the project quality and vision. Well, Dr. Nabil.
Okay, thank you. هنبتدي بقى الجزء بقى اللي هو خاص حضرتك يعني طبعا الشركة غنية عن التعريف للمصاعد. احنا
بس عايزين نقول ان اسمها ايجيك.
ايجيك ايجيك انا ببقى خايفة اقولها غلط. ايجيك خلاص. معانا دكتور شريف هيبتدي يعمل moderation. We are going to have the session in English. We were just making sure that we are saying the names right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nabil. I welcome everybody in the panel, and I think we'll go directly to the discussions during the panel. So I have a question for the Egyptian side. What are the present jobs or projects you have in Africa? In which countries you work in Africa? Which countries? And what are the main challenges that you are facing at this stage? Can you?
For me, I'm Rami Zehdi. I worked for 20 years in Africa in investment and commercial trade. Now I'm representative to EGIC. EGIC is an industrial company. Is preparing to introduce the first elevator made in Egypt. We still don't have business in Africa, but we're preparing ourselves to enter to the market, African market. But from other side, I have to say that during the last 20 years, there is a lot of issues in Africa. We not say it's a problem. We say like a case. You have to use the case to be able to enter to the market. I did a lot of successful jobs in Africa, and there is another jobs was less successful more than the other. But I think we still have the opportunity to be have a strong position as a company, as an Egyptian companies in Africa.
You mean you still don't have projects in Africa?
No, we're preparing ourselves to produce the first elevator made in Egypt with a percentage more Egyptian percentage more than 45%. We almost finished the factory and we're preparing to the official opening.
Okay, because what I mean is that with the continental free trade area of Africa, this should be a good opportunity for you as a manufacturer in Egypt, and having, of course, the local component, I think must be a little bit higher than 45, because the continental free trade agreement will put some conditions on the certificate of origin to be African. Okay, so we have to discuss this, and you have to look. You have to be in contact with and see what's going on with the Continental Free Trade Secretariat, which is based in Accra in Ghana, and see what are the developments, especially regarding certificate of origin.
It is confirmed at 45% is the beginning. We're starting with 45%.
Okay, so
we're able to reach to 70.
Fine, thank you. From your side, sir, what are the? Are you already working in Africa?
Yeah, of course. Presently, we have a project in Senegal, in Dakar. We have been there for the past 18 months. I think in a couple of months we'll be handing over. At the same time, we are preparing our offices to reopen them in Tripoli, Libya.
Where? Tripoli.
Tripoli.
Yeah.
We had our offices till 2011. Then it vanished with what happened. Actually, if there is a challenge in Senegal, we didn't find any problem. We had past experience in many other African countries. The only challenge now is in Libya, the banking system and the first-class banking availability. We cannot receive the letter of credits from Libya. There is no first class. There is no credit insurance on Libyan credits. So yes, there is a big construction boom is going on and will happen there, but it's not supported by a strong banking system in Libya, which will create a big demerit into the near future.
Okay, but you're not thinking to go more into sub-Saharan Africa? There's a lot of opportunities in sub-Saharan Africa. I know, of course, Libya is important for us here in Egypt, and is one of our main partners, commercial partners in Africa, Libya. But I think also what we should be looking for more also to look into sub-Saharan Africa.
Fully agree with this. Yet we need also some activity from our trade commissions all over Africa. Yes, there is delegations visiting those countries. We need this to be more enhanced. We need more information. You know, the information, the statistics are not very accurate, are not very much available for all our continent. We need more information. We need to connect with the buyers. We need to connect more with the projects. which is not very much frequent nowadays, despite the heavy construction. Our part of the world industry as supplies, lighting is the total world demand is $120 billion a year. Africa consumes $6 to $9 billion of lighting every year.
Of what? Of what?
$6 to $9 billion of lighting. Lighting fixtures.
Yes, yes.
Okay. We have here in Egypt 27 factories manufacturing lighting, but our export to Africa is very much minimized or minimal even. It's very small because we need the trade commission. This industry is not a huge multi-billion industry. So they need the trade commission, they need some governmental support just to let them meet their buyers or meet the contractors or meet the project or officials all around Africa, especially in the part of the continent that we didn't approach yet.
Okay, I understand. But what I'm trying to say is that, lighting is very important in Africa, although there's still a lot of energy problems, supply of electricity, but at least out of the 1.2 billion Africans, there are at least 600 million who are but what I'm saying is that, for example, we are members of COMESA, and COMESA is 21 countries, including Egypt, of course. You should be more active in a place like COMESA, in COMESA countries, because we have a lot of opportunities there, but we are not present. For example, I see South Africa, for example, industry is more present in COMESA than us, Egypt, who are members of COMESA. I'm a member of board of what you call the COMESA Business Council, and this is based in Lusaka in Zambia. And I think we have a lot of information that you may require with such organizations like the COMESA Business Council, which has a lot of data about the COMESA markets and the industries. And so we would be very happy to help you or any other person or any other organization or companies that would like to be in the COMESA countries.
We will do so. Actually, late this week, we have a meeting, all the manufacturers of the industry, and I will forward this message to all of them, and we can make a delegation
Sure.
to handle this. As well, we are preparing now a delegation of those 27 manufacturers, including decorative makers, the well-known decorative makers like Asfor Industries and others, to make an arrangement to visit some African countries to explore possibilities. And I want to highlight something. Lighting is a part of the sustainability. We are talking about the power-saving lighting, the LED technology.
Solar lighting also is very important.
Solar is one
of the sustainable,
of course,
energy. Yes. Okay, that's very important. Another thing I'd like to focus on, I happen to also chair the Africa Relation Committee in Federation of Egyptian Industries and Egyptian Businessmen Association. And we, before COVID, we used to organize trade missions to different African countries. So you can, and I think we'll start again soon our missions. So maybe this could be also one of the ways, and you can see more about the African markets.
It's a basic issue, those trade commissions, to have them quite frequent, to give chance to all manufacturers, Egyptian, to approach the potential clientele and projects all around the continent. And not only the Sahara zone, but I'm talking even about south of Africa. There is big countries, a lot of buyers. Even South Africa, they have a similar industry, but not as strong as the Egyptian one.
Thank you. Well, I go now to the African side, and I'd like to ask both Dr. Molenga and Mr. Rao if they have any present business in Egypt, and in case they have, what are the challenges, and what are the products you may need to buy from Egypt? Can I start with Dr. Molenga?
Yes. Good evening once more. From our side, we don't have any presence in Egypt, but one particular attention I wanted to highlight is that Zambia, inclusive of other SADC countries, are basically in need of building materials, infrastructure, and one of the panelists has mentioned about lighting, which is one important aspect that is needed, both for households that already have got electricity and also households in rural areas that don't have electricity are in dire need of lighting and other infrastructure material that can improve the livelihoods of many people. And also, it also comes to a business case, like the company I founded and also our Egyptian counterparts, to take advantage of the opportunity that is there, that we can freely trade between African countries and promote the products that we have in Africa. Because as Africa, we need solutions that are tailored for our problems. And I see it as an opportunity for us to amalgamate and work together in order to give Africa, in terms of infrastructure, building, lighting, and also the much needed energy with products that are homemade. Most of the products now that we have in Africa are coming either from Europe or Asia. So we need to take advantage of our ever-growing demand for these products and have a lot of industries grow from one African country to another so that we can meet the demand that is there locally.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Mulaga. I think you're right. One of the problems we have here in Egypt, as I'm in industry myself and so on, that our products, and when we went to the several African countries on missions and so on, we found that not many African countries or not many African business people know about Egyptian products. I think we have a lot of products in Egypt. We produce a lot. We are today the second economy in Africa today. Egypt is number 2 today as the economy in Africa is number 2. It was number 3, now it's number 2. So we have a lot of products, but maybe ourselves, we don't dwell our products. So I think we should do more efforts to market our products you are from Zambia? You are from Zambia?
Yes,
right.
yes, from Zambia, yes.
Yes, we have been to Zambia 3 years ago, and we tried to introduce our products there. I mean, a delegation from the industry here. We should go again, but you should have a focal point. We have in Egypt the Federation of Industries, which can always give you all information you need about Egyptian industry and Egyptian products. We have a lot of products in different sectors. In the engineering sector, we are very strong. In chemical sector, we are very strong. In building material, we're very strong. Food processing industries, metallurgical industries. I mean, across the board, we have many presence in industry, and we can offer a lot of products to Zambia or other African countries. But I think also we need to do more effort from our side. But I tell all our African colleagues that we have in the Federation of Industry and Africa Relation Committee, which can provide you with all the information, necessary information that you may need. I'll go to Mr. Rao, and you can give us your experience, please. Is there anything with Egypt or what do you know about Egyptian products, services, and so on? By the way, Egypt has now very vast experience in also infrastructure. We have, in the last 5-6 years, we have done mega projects at record time in roads, electricity, everything, in railroads, all kinds of infrastructure have been done in Egypt. And so we have a vast experience in this respect. Mr. Rao, can you please tell us?
Thank you, Dr. Sharif, and Your Excellency, being a senator. I think it will really add value to the discussion we're going to have now. as DOT, we have been working with Egyptian companies from roads to high voltage electrical transmission line companies, from water to sewerage. So from the last 20 years. But when you ask me how much importation we could have done, it's negligible. As you rightly put it, you need to see why this is happening, because I know very well Egypt manufactures a lot of stuff for construction. There's nothing that you don't manufacture. But then what could be the reason? I mean, the reason could be that what it is that is differentiating yourself to others. When, as you said, African free trade area and your trade missions. And what is it? Now, like with the supply chain disruption now in place where getting material is becoming more challenging, it should have been more easier to get within Africa. So now there has been a lot of focus on the intra-Africa trade of late. And Egypt should take lead in this one. But again, there should be some instruments, like you see when you have supplier credits, underwriting the supplier credits, buyer credits. These are things which should be put in place. And if they are there and we do not know, then your embassy should be marketing them, and you have a road show to make sure that, well, these are instruments, especially when it comes to big companies. We don't just go and buy material just anyhow. You need to have a bigger game you play, and these are things which Egypt should be looking into to really become part of the supply chain requirements in sub-Saharan Africa and generally in Africa. This is my small submission. Thank you, Dr. Sharif.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your recommendations, and I think that you rightly said yes. We need in Egypt also to have better liaison with Africa in terms of all our experiences and share experiences and so on. So also this is very important for us. If I come to the opportunities of investment, I mean, our aim in Egypt is not only to export our products, but also to invest whenever it's possible. I mean, when we find in Africa, in any African countries, the possibility to manufacture, I think we should use this opportunity. Of course, the beginning always is to start by selling the Egyptian product itself, whatever it is. And if we find the right market, then the next step we should try is to manufacture inside the African country itself. Do you think that Egypt, there is a good opportunity to manufacture I mean, you have plans, maybe one day you can think about manufacturing elevators in Africa, for example, because it's a big market there.
First, there is one info I need to share with you that the total value of Egyptian project in Africa till now is, currently is $21.5 billion, which means that Egypt have a good position now in Africa more than any time before. That's why it is necessary now to, for us as an Egyptian company to understand very well where we can start and when and where we can reach to. If you're talking about the elevators, when I speak that I'm going to produce in Egypt, that means that will be the first elevator made in Egypt and Africa. This is a new technology, a new kind of industry I got in Egypt for first time. So, if I will be able to get more projects in Africa, I will be able to import elevators at the moment. Maybe later on, I will be able to transfer the technology, the people that working, the experience, in a lot of countries in Africa.
Thank you. I think that's really the right policy. We should work in transferring technology to the African countries, develop the market there, because also one of the difficulties we face all in Africa is the transportation and so on and so on. So if we can make manufacturing in the country itself, in whatever African country it is, where we see a potential, it would be very, very important for us to do the manufacturing side there. I think this is a wise policy. Do you think from your side there's opportunities in lighting and fixtures and so on?
Of course, yes, but it will depend on the economics of having facilities all around Africa. But yes, firstly, related to the construction going on in Africa, presently Egypt is classified number 1, followed by South Africa, and third position is to Nigeria. This is what's related to construction. In terms of lighting, Africa now, over 1/3 of its investment goes to power projects. And another good part goes to transportation. The rest goes, which is our specialty, the lighting, something like 35–40% of the total Africa construction. And yes, the facility somewhere in Central Africa to serve the Central and the South Africa to avoid complication of supply chain and long ways of supplies.
I think this is very wise. Yes, you should. One of the main problems is to avoid, to improve the supply chain. So by having the manufacturing there will help a lot. I mean, if we can have a manufacturing facility in Eastern Africa and one in Western Africa and one in Central and perhaps one in the Southern, then of course that would be very important for improving the supply chain. And we saw how critical the supply chain was during the COVID and how difficult is it how much difficulty we faced during COVID regarding supply chain. I come to the African side, Dr. Mulenga. For example, I see that you're in solar energy, something like that, solar energy. In Egypt, we have developed the biggest solar farm maybe in the world, in the southern part of Egypt. And we have a very wide experience now in solar energy. We would be, I think many Egyptian companies would be ready to invest in this sector in Uganda or any other African countries. That's very important, or Zambia. So we are already, I know Egyptian companies working now in Madagascar and some other countries in solar. The important part of this investment, if we talk about renewables and so on, is to have a commitment from the government for a power purchase agreement. Because any investor who would invest $100 million or $200 million on a 25 mega or 50 mega or even 100 mega after that or more needs to have this kind of government security that they will buy the electricity. Egypt has a very good experience in this. When we started our solar program, I don't know, maybe close to 8–9 years ago, we made commitment with the investors that we will buy the electricity at such a price, so many cents per kilowatt. And this encouraged many companies to come and invest. And that's why we have the biggest solar farm today in Egypt. Are African countries ready? Or let's say we talk about Zambia today. Let's take Zambia as an example. Is ready to sign power purchase agreement and guarantee to buy the electricity at a price, of course, to be agreed upon before making the project. Can you say this, Dr. Mulenga?
On that front, I can confirm that Zambia is very ready when it comes to renewable. I wish to also bring to your attention that the generation matrix in Zambia is mostly hydro-based. And then we have situations where the rainfall patterns are unreliable. So that brings about the problem with regard to the supply that could meet the demand that we need in the country. So on renewable energy, both for grid integrated systems and also off-grid systems in rural areas, the investment opportunity is very big in Zambia. And then when we come to grid integrated systems, there is also an added opportunity that is not yet explored, that is to regard with the storage facilities, which could carry away the variability that is associated with solar. So for Zambia, we are very much ready for investment. There is a government wing that was already set up in the past years, that is the Industrial Development Corporation, IDC, which has been mandated to ensure the development of renewable systems in Zambia, together with the state-owned utility company, ZESCO. So on Zambia, I confirm that the investment potential is there and it's very big.
Okay, yes, I understand the potential is big, but will there be a commitment from the government to buy?
Yes.
Okay.
The commitment is there. I can actually mention last week, I was part of a delegation that actually toured a site for a 65 megawatt plant to be constructed by a UK-based company, and government together with the utility company have already committed to purchasing of the energy that will be produced from this plant. So that one I can confirm on the government is ready to engage with investors on solar power investment. Also, the other aspect that is also there is the untapped potential in wind energy. That is also attracting some investment. There's also a huge potential in that.
Thank you. I think that's very good news. And I'm sure many Egyptian investors in solar energy would be very interested to invest in case we have a government guarantee to buy the electricity produced at an agreed upon price. That would be, I'm sure there's a lot of opportunities. So yes, you can always advise us who is interested, and I can tell you names of companies who would be willing to go to your country and to invest there. Thank you for that. Mr. Rao, do you have similar agreements in Uganda? I think you have Uganda, and do they encourage renewables as one of the fast-track projects for investing, you know, and which is much needed anyway. You know, power in Africa, as I said, there's 1.2 billion, maybe 600 million don't have power enough in Africa today. So half the population of Africa is nearly very weak in obtaining the necessary power, okay? So I think any energy project today in Africa would be very much welcome, provided you have government guarantee for purchasing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Please go ahead.
In fact, in Uganda is one of the most modern regulatory regime in place. All the utilities are unbundled, and the bulk purchaser is the electricity transmission company. Now they have created a power trading corporation as well, and with the grid connectivity which is ongoing between East Africa, the power will become more homogenized. But however, currently entire energy mix of Uganda is hydro, and it is renewable. Currently there is excess power, so there is a PPA they give for 20 years, but the problem now is that there is an excess power. So getting into solar projects now, at least for another few years down the line, until there is a challenge for requirement of power, I would say it's not possible. But however, as independent power producers, there's a lot of opportunity in the islands on the Lake Victoria. There are many islands in Lake Victoria which do not have power, and the government is encouraging independent power producers to have their own grid and generation. That's one opportunity. Then you will have opportunities in Democratic Republic of Congo. But again, the utility, it doesn't have the same credibility and the same environment like what you have in Uganda in the regulatory framework. But you can again still have a lot of independent opportunities for independent power production and have your own grid. I think that's the opportunities which I would say which are in East and Central Africa. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rao. Thank you, clear. So the opportunity exists there from both sides about investing, not just trading, but investing also is very important. I think there are so many things you can do in Africa in terms of projects, in industry, in energy, in infrastructure. We all agree on that, I think. And this venue is very important to just give examples of how we can cooperate together here, us in Egypt and with the rest of the African continent. I think that we need more of such meetings between the business community in Egypt and the African countries. We from outside, from Egypt, will do our best from that. And I think that we should all work very seriously, because it's only Africans who will help Africans to develop. You have to depend on that. You cannot just depend on, you have a help from a European or China or India or whatever. It's the Africans have to help themselves. And within Africa, there is a lot of experience and a lot of know-how, but we just need to come together, and we need to have both the political and economic will to work together and to succeed. That's very, very important, because many times we depend on outside help, outside from Africa. Look today, the inter-Africa trade today is not exceeding 15%. I think that's a shame. Africa should at least, inter-Africa trade should be at least 60%. We are today only at 15%. So we need to do much more than that. I'll give just every one of our guests today just 1 minute to tell me what do you think about Africa and what we should do in just few words. Can you say, please? Thank you.
If you allow me, I have a question for you, sir, as a senator and as a political side. Till now, why in Egypt we don't have a ministry, for example, for a cooperation, African cooperations? Because I need to say something. We have a lot of efforts, a lot of people working for Africa, but there is no control or a big control for all issues. I'm sorry to ask you, but
okay,
I need to
you, but you ask me. Okay, fine. I think you touch a very, very important point. That's one. You know, I happen also to chair the Africa Affairs Committee in the Egyptian Parliament, and one of the we discuss all the African affairs with different ministers and so on. And one of the main problems we don't coordinate together our activities, so we don't show our real force, because each one works alone. I think this is one of the very important recommendations, and we have been asking for that really. And I just came from a meeting now, and our committee just finished. We were talking about the Cairo-Cape Town Road, for example. That's a very important project. But when we discussed today, we found that there is still a lot of things to be done to make this road work. Okay, Egypt has nearly finished its part of the road, but this road will pass through 12 countries, Africa, and there is no coordination, there is nothing. So you need really, I fully agree with what you say. This is very, very important, and maybe this is your recommendation in 1 minute. You said it in a question to me, okay? So, but I fully agree with you. That's very, very important. Thank you.
Well, I would support this idea. In addition, we need to know each other. We have a great chance. Our manpower in Egypt and in Africa is one of the cheapest worldwide. We have to start acting and planning to be a replacement of the Far East products. We can do the same quality and even much better quality with the cheap manpower, which is the target of the advanced countries in Europe and in America.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Mulanga?
Africa has got problems. As Africans, we understand these problems fully. We need solutions from Africa to solve these problems. And as African countries, we need to unite. We need one another on the technical front, economic front, and political front to develop these products and develop Africa as a unit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Mr. Rao.
Thank you, Doctor. As I said, we need to work on the frameworks, the trade initiatives, the systems where you can have supplier credits, buyer credits, all these systems in place to increase the intra-Africa trade. Because with this current supply chain, it's a very huge opportunity for Egypt to really integrate itself into the sub-Saharan African supply chain, where most comes from outside of Africa. As you know that very well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rao. Thank you, all my guests. Thank you, everybody. I think we have touched very important points. We have put how we should tackle our future relation as Africans, and we still have a long road to go. But at least we have a lot of people in Africa and in Egypt to have the right vision for that. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank everyone. الأول عايزين يعني مهندس نبيل. I would like to thank our speakers who are with us on Zoom from abroad, and we are actually going, Dr. Sharif Gabali, I think with the EBA, we are going to arrange some business trips to Zambia. Dr. Sharif, inshallah, with the EBA, we are going to arrange some business trips to Uganda and to Zambia. And maybe we are going to have more meetings to know with those interested in the solar energy investments. Thank you. This is a little thing. We will need you to be with us for 1 minute. Capacity building أهم حاجة، صح؟ الاستثمار في الشباب أهم حاجة. دقيقة واحدة علشان عندنا البرنامج بتاع الشباب مخلصين التدريب بتاعهم اسمهم ready to work، فهنديهم بس الشهادات بتاعتهم، بس الأول نقول لكم thank you. ممكن نفضل مع بعض، بس عندنا الدكتورة هالة جمال من السبورترز بتوع